He worked here and worked very hard to take the Chinese culture and the Western culture and take the best of both of them to teach to his students. He's very famous for this. This is J.B. Eystone, who worked in education his whole life here in China. And you can see this is turn of the century because the children still have the braid in the back.
This building is a profound symbol of fusion. Named Tianru, it marries the way of heaven with Confucian wisdom. It is architecture as philosophy, a harmonious dialogue between East and West. It introduced Western features, a grand auditorium, a clock tower, and imported materials, while retaining China's soul, dragon motifs, and the sweeping curves of the traditional roof. The visionary behind this was James Bruce Eystone, known by his affectionate Chinese name, Ai Shutang. This Boston University graduate arrived in China in 1902. He was a man on a mission to build bridges through education. This photograph, taken between 1903 and 1905, captures a moment frozen in time. There stands Eystone with a group of Chinese children, likely his students. From 1903, Eystone guided the Minqing boys' school. Over the years, he raised over 100,000 yuan, a colossal sum then. The Tianru Building, completed in 1919, became the heart of the campus. It was the cradle of what is now the Minqing No. 1 Middle School.
He worked here and worked very hard to take the Chinese culture and the Western culture and take the best of both of them to teach to his students. He's very famous for this.
When the school relocated in 2009, the Tianru Building was demolished, but the story did not end there. The school carefully preserved the original materials with reuse value, waiting for their new life. And in July 2017, Andrea Condit, a descendant of the Eystone family, stood before these very relics. She touched the rough surface, feeling the weight of a century. The past was reaching out. The connection runs deep. In Minqing, Eystone met Isabel Longstreet, a fellow teacher. They married in 1910. In May 1912, their daughter Josephine was born in Fuzhou, forever binding the family's roots to this land. Their bond wasn't just academic. It was etched in the summer breeze of Kuliang. Every year, the family would retreat to the mountains to escape the heat. Guided by villagers, the descendants retraced their steps. They found the spot where the Eystone family once rented a villa in Liangzuo. Though the original stone walls were gone, the spirit of the place remained. The villa had been rebuilt as Yijing Villa, but nature held the memory. The cryptomeria trees, planted by Eystone's own hands a century ago, still stood tall. As the wind whispered through the pines, it was as if the old principal was welcoming his family home. In September 2017, Carol Condit, Josephine's daughter, visited Minqing. She learned that the school revered the Tianru Building as a spiritual symbol and had formed a task force to rebuild it. Hope was rekindled. The challenge was immense. With no original blueprints, Chinese architects became detectives. They pored over century-old photographs, counted bricks pixel by pixel, and reverse-engineered the structure. It was a meticulous act of resurrection. On September 29, 2019, the reconstruction officially began. And on the last day of that year, the reconstructed Tianru Building was topped out. Exactly 100 years after its conception, the displaced bricks and timber were returned to their rightful place. It is said that on the day Carol received this good news, a heavy snow was falling in Maine. The snowflakes of Maine are like letters from time itself. They carry the footprints of 3 generations of the Eystone family's search for their roots, gently landing on the newly reconstructed Tianru Building. A journey completed, a bond reborn.